ンオフ、6年間着用したエンゼルスの赤いユニフォームに別れを告げ、ドジャースと10年総額7億ドル、約1014億円の契約を結んだ大谷翔平。かつてエンゼルスで大谷を指導したジョー・マドン元監督は、退任から2年が経っても大谷への愛は変わりません。マドン監督は2020年からエンゼルスを指揮。手術明けの2020年には、大谷はわずかに登板に終わりましたが、指揮官は大谷の先発起用の考えを変えることはありませんでした。翌2021年に、大谷は、リアル二刀流を解禁するなど、打っては46本塁打、100打点、投げては9勝2敗で満票でリーグ MVP に輝きました。そんな2022年途中までエンゼルスの監督を務めたジョー・マドン氏が、米スポーツ局、MLB ネットワークの番組、MLB トゥナイトに出演し、大谷について、
今まで監督した中で最高の選手だ。
とし、また大谷の意外な弱点についても、ユーモアを交えながら明かしてくれていましたので、日本語字幕付きでご紹介していきます。
Shohei Ohtani, is he the greatest player you've ever managed?
Of course. First of all, I didn't get one of those beers. Thank you very much. Of course he is. He's the greatest player any manager's ever managed. On a daily basis, you got to be with him on a daily basis to really appreciate and understand all of it. You guys have alluded to it, the fact that when he came here, not really given the opportunity to do both things, which is why he came in the first place. Part of the reason to pitch and to hit. I was really intrigued by that whole thing. I was part of the recruiting process with the Cubs, but of course didn't get him. When I came over to the Angels, I asked about that immediately because I wanted to get to it as quickly as possible. And fortunately, Perry was on the same page with me. We had a great conversation that spring training in a little conference room and talked to him about, listen, the rules are, there are no rules. We're just going to listen to you.
Hey, Joe, it's Dan O'Dowd. I know you've been on record of saying that you love him as a two-way player, but for the sake of this discussion, if he only was a position player, what position would you play him at? And how good do you think he could be if that was his total focus day in and day out?
A corner outfield, probably right field, I think would be nice. He could play any of them. Don't get me wrong. He could play, I think, all three outfield positions. You just want to put him in a spot that's the least amount of wear and tear on him. I think if you really pressed him, he could probably play first base too. I watch him in batting practice run balls down in the outfield. It's incredible. And that arm's going to play anywhere, just as long as he takes care of his arm. I see it as a right field arm. I see the range is incredible. He really runs down into that right center field gap. I watched that at Anaheim and BP and stuff. He would just run him down. So I would pick right field, I think. I think he's absolutely an all-star there. He's a Hall of Famer there. He's all the above there. He's that good.
Joe, it's Ron Darling here, and I was just wondering, the bottom line is you get this great player. How are you going to use him? And I know you, and that is how we're going to max out how he helps win ball games for the Angels. What kind of discussion came about as far as starting or maybe relieving?
Oh, it was all about starting. I didn't feel comfortable even approaching the other subject. The fact that he had been through different surgeries, the fact that he'd been born and bred as a starting pitcher, I thought the right thing to do was just see it all the way through as a starting pitcher. I never considered the part about relief pitching. I did not. The big thing was that first year was the fact that there was no universal DH in a situation where we had to utilize him in the outfield. I mean, as a pitcher, then throw him in the outfield for one more at bat, et cetera. There was a lot of manipulation going on during the course of the game to get him all the appropriate number of at bats, hit him one or two in the batting order. But he's a starter, man, and I'm certain he's going to come back and do it again. I have that much faith in him. He will do whatever is necessary in order to get back to the level that he had been. That's what he wants to do. This guy is all about winning. He demonstrated that with the contract, how he permitted the Dodgers to pay him later. And from what I understand, we've all read it was his idea, which really kind of surprised me, but it did not. He's just all about winning, and he's just a different cat, brother. He's just a different guy.
One of your great skills, Joe, is your communication. You can get along with anybody in a clubhouse and know how to relate to them. With Shohei specifically, as somebody who is not fluent in English, he's not going to understand Joe Madden own a file. He's not going to know the Joe Madden books you read. But how did you try to make a connection with them, at least initially?
Initially, first of all, as an interpreter doesn't get enough credit. Ippei's outstanding. So Ippei and I and Shohei really got together, and it was a daily situation. After every game, I would either talk or text them and ask them what he wanted to do the next day. Beyond that, I try to get him on the golf course. I've seen video of it. It's not good. I mean, it's really incredible that this guy could do everything on a baseball field, but does not look like he could hit a golf ball. But that's the one thing I wanted to do. But after the game, he would also, we had like a little pool table there. He was always competing. The guy likes to play games. He likes to compete. I've compared him to my time with Cal Ripken, watching Cal Ripken in batting practice, in infield practice, all the different things that he did. Always a game. He was always playing a game. I think Shohei is always playing a game, and that's why the moment's never too big for him, because he really is able to reduce it to that. And you also alluded to this. There's not a whole lot of scripting going on with this fella. He is able to maneuver or manipulate the moment. He's that good. He could create on the run. He watches hitters, knows what to throw. He watches pitchers, and he knows where to look. He is that baseball bright.
米大リーグ機構は10日、今季のレギュラーシーズンの開始時間などを発表し、大谷翔平と山本由伸が加入したドジャースが、ダルビッシュ有と松井裕樹のパドレスとソウルで対戦する3月20日の開幕戦は、午後7時5分開始のナイターに決まりました。メジャー史上初開催の韓国では、2試合が行われ、21日も同時刻に始まる予定となっています。また、日本時間2月4日には、ドジャースタジアムで行われるファンフェスタ2024に大谷が登場する見込みとなっていることも、MLB 公式サイトが伝えています。ドジャースでは例年、スプリングトレーニング前にファンフェスタが行われており、MLB 公式サイトは、
ドジャースに新たに加入する翔平大谷、タイラー・グラスノーのインタビューを盛り込んだ90分間のステージショーに参加しよう
とファンに呼びかけています。MLB 公式サイトによると、フレディ・フリーマン内野手、ムーキー・ベッツ外野手ら主力選手やデーブ・ロバーツ監督も参加する見込みとなっており、12月の入団会見はファン非公開でしたが、ファンフェスタに大谷が参加となれば、これがファンの前では初登場となります。また、球団の慈善活動団体、ドジャース基金が主催する記念品販売、サイン入りのユニフォームなどが入った福袋の販売なども行われます。入場券は11日から2日間販売される予定となっています。イベントはまだ3週間以上も先ですが、SNS では早くも大盛り上がり。
大谷さん、いよいよ忙しくなりますね。今月末には MVP 授賞式、楽しみの連続。もうキャンプが待ち遠しいわい。
すごく行きたい。せめて日本で放送してくれないだろうか。すべて BS で放送お願いします。
など、日米のファンからの声が多く上がっていました。中には、
ポルシェ奥様も来るかな
として、大谷から高級車をプレゼントされて話題になった、ジョー・ケリー投手の妻アシュリーさんの参加について興味津々の声もありました。これからも大谷の活躍から目が離せません。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。